Alright guys, today we are back with the LEGO Gorilla Tag mock series. It's been quite a while since I did the last mock, which was the newer city. I started this series just over a year ago, and it's been quite a while since we've done it, and so I decided to bring it back today. So I did a community poll on my channel, and Beach won by a long shot. So of course today I built Beach. You guys have been requesting this one for a long time, over and over, so I'm super happy to bring it to you today. Now this map is very large, definitely one of the largest maps in the game. There are so many interesting parts of this map, and it was so difficult to build just one specific part. This map has a lot of water, along with a lot of zip lines and ropes. Now the part I did decide to make is the little dock area. So I built a few of the docks, one of the tents, and one of the little spots where you can sit in little chairs with the umbrella. One thing I did want to make sure I built was under the water, and I will kind of show you how I did that once we get into the mock itself. But before I do show you the build, please make sure that you guys are subscribed. If this video does well, I will be making some more Gorilla Tag mocks in the future, so comment down below which mock I should make next, and if you haven't seen my other Gorilla Tag mocks, I highly recommend you do. I will leave a little card in the top right of your screen, along with a link in the description. But I think it's about time we go ahead and take a look at this build. Okay, so first thing I want to kind of show you guys is how I did the underwater portion. So to pull this off, I just built up a wall along the side here using some different snap techniques and really some rock work. I'm super happy with how this rock work came out. I'm not usually the best at this kind of stuff, but throwing together a bunch of slabs at different angles and all these different slopes, I think at the end it turned out pretty nice. I would have liked to do all of the wall in dark tan, but I did not have that many dark tan slope pieces, so I did mix in some normal tan, but I still think that it looks really good. Now for the base itself, it is just a blue base plate kind of to show the water. Now obviously if you're looking at this, it does kind of look like the water is all the way down there and it doesn't start up right under the docks like it does in game. Now I did debate about putting some blue plates under the docks, but then everything underwater you wouldn't really be able to see, and I don't know how good it would look, so I decided just to leave it like this, and you can kind of imagine everything from the base plate up to the bottom of the docks is under the water. Now for the docks themselves, I just built them up using these cylinder pillars, mixing in some of these smooth and some of the textured ones just to make it look a little better in my opinion. And each of the docks does have 6 pillars. I also incorporated some planks that go across the middle of them because in game they do have these for structural support. And I did those in a lighter color, which I did use around this build, specifically on the docks, to kind of give it a little more contrast, a little bit different colors in there. And I am happy I did it in this nougat color rather than brown, because I think it makes it not look so bland. If we move up this side of the docks, you can see I just topped those off with a tile just to kind of smooth things out a bit. And for the railings on the docks, I just used a 1x2 snot brick, and then I went for a more orangish brown for the actual docks themselves, which I think looks pretty accurate to how it does in game. And then we've got a few of these posts here. This is just done in the same nougat color, and there are actually 3 of these total in the build, but the first one's right here on the end. Really quickly, I want to take a pause to shout out my Gorilla Tag YouTube channel. I haven't posted on that channel in a while, but this summer I'm going to be getting some great videos out, so make sure that you guys go do subscribe to that. I will leave a link in the description. And also, if you guys would like to support the channel along with unlocking some awesome perks, you guys can become a member with the link in the description. Members get early access to all of my long form videos, along with behind the scenes and sneak peeks to just about every single video that I post on my channel. There's tons of awesome perks you can unlock with that, so I would really appreciate it if you guys did just check it out, link in the description. Thank you guys so much, and now let's get back into this build. If we go over to the other dock, this one is actually skinnier than the one we were looking at before. The pillars are pretty much the same exact design. they're just a little closer together, and same thing with the posts and the railings as well. But probably one of the more interesting parts of this build is this zip line over here on the right side. So I just built up these posts here, including some brown to represent the ropes that hold these planks together. And then for the actual zip line itself, I used a combination of these 1x1 dark blue cylinders along with some purple studs to kind of try to make it look like it does in the game. It was a little difficult. I would have liked to make it, I think, a little skinnier, but this is about as skinny as I could go in getting the right colors. But I'm super happy with how the zipline turned out. It might be one of my favorite parts of the entire mock. It is a little bit flimsy, and these are held on at 2 points, and we'll get to the other point here in a minute. If we scoot over the build a little bit, you can see another one of those posts with the board going across it there. And if we take a look under the actual beach portion, you can see it's completely empty. I did extend the base plate a little bit to give me more room to build the beach part, but nothing can really go down there, so I just kind of left it hollow with some supports. Now here we have another post, and this one is holding up the other side of the zip line. You can kind of see how I did this with a 1x1 bracket in brown. It's the same design as on the other side, and then I just used 2 of these clip pieces to hold on that zip line, and I'm super happy with that turned out again. If we go up that post a little bit, you'll see the speakers. Now this is, I believe, a very similar design to how I've built speakers in the past for mocks like my original forest mock and probably a few other ones out there. And I really like how that build came out, again using the brown to represent some of the ropes that wrap around. And then right here, probably one of my favorite building techniques I use in this entire mock is the umbrella. I spent forever trying to figure out how to make an umbrella like this with this kind of striped blue and white design. I was originally just going to use a white dish piece, but then I would have missed out on all of that blue, so I opted for this instead. The way I did this was I used one of these 2x2 round white plates that has these bars on all sides, and then I used a 1x1 clip, and then I used this tile and this plate in either color blue or white and clipped those on at an angle, and there is a total of 8 of these builds all around, 4 of each color. And then to top it off, I just used a smaller white dish piece along with one of these studs with a clip on the top for the top of the umbrella, and then the actual stick of the umbrella just consists of 2 bar pieces connected together, and those are just sat on a jumper in between the chairs. And speaking of the chairs, let's take a look at them now. They are both the same build. I had some limited pieces in these colors, especially for this size. So to do the arms of the chairs, I actually used this building technique where I took a clip and a tile and put the tile into the clip to kind of rest there as arms of the chair. And then the back, I just used this bracket and just put some tiles on the back there. I'm super happy with how those came out. Again, those are on just some jumpers, so they can sit there in the sand. If we go back, you can see a wall. Now there is parts of like an old broken building all around this map. I did want to make sure to incorporate some aspect of that in this build. So right behind the umbrella area, there is a portion of the wall, and this is very simple, probably the most simple thing in this whole mock. It's just a wall, and then I did incorporate this line here just to give it some difference in texture, so it's not just a smooth wall. And then on the left side, there's a little bit chipped off just like in the game, and then I just tiled that off on the top to make it nice and smooth. Going over to the left a little bit more, we've got a palm tree. Another thing I did want to include in this build, even though directly right here there is not a palm tree on the actual map, but I thought it was important to include one, of course, because this is a beach mock, and on the beach map there are palm trees everywhere. Now I built this by just using a rod piece and stacking a bunch of these cylinder pieces on it, and then just putting another rod on the top, so it's pretty stable, but it does come apart into kind of sections. And then on top, clipping to this rod piece just 3 of these palm tree leaf pieces. And finally, possibly my favorite part of this mock is the tent. Now these are all around this side of the beach map, and I'm super happy with how these came out. One thing that's very important about these is the little archway and kind of the shape that they have, and then also they are striped orange and white. Now, of course, this one has a lot more white than orange in the actual map. It's pretty even, but the way I was able to do this was by stacking up some 1x1s along with this snot brick here. This one's a little interesting. It's just a corner snot, so it just has them on 2 of the sides here, and then just attaching 2 of these builds on either side, consisting of white and orange pieces along with some slopes. And then on the top, just using this corner piece, which would be used to hold the roof in place. And now for the roof, it is a little janky and it isn't exactly how it is in game. This is more of a rectangle in game. It's more of a square and it's all pointed at the top like a pyramid. But I am still happy with how this came out. Now, this is the best I could do for the stripes with the pieces that I had available. But these are just at angles using different white clips under them to put them at these angles, and I just use these 3x3 slanted plates to kind of make it all come together. And the roof just sits on top of the tent. It doesn't actually click in there, but it is loose. But I'm super happy with how that came out, and especially with how the archways themselves look. I think they look very accurate to the angle that they are in game. And that was my beach mock. This is possibly one of the largest Gorilla Tag mocks that I've made space-wise. It's not as tall as my city mock, but it is quite longer than some of the other ones. So leave a comment down below what you guys think of this mock, maybe what I could have added, or some things that I possibly missed. And also let me know what other Gorilla Tag mocks I should make in the future, because I would love to make some more of these if this video does well. And also, go check out my other Gorilla Tag mocks. There will be a playlist in the description and also on the end screen now. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching.